Hey, what's up guys? This is Eric from Team Rec here. We have a deck profile. This is my Ishizu tier deck that I took to locals Undefeated yesterday. Um, really liking the build. You'll notice I did upload a profile a couple days ago. Actually, many people might not notice, but I just took it down. It was like a similar build, but a lot of the theory was pretty trash and untested, and I had the opportunity to do a lot of testing on Friday against Flu and Spright with Freeman, and I realized a lot of like poor choices in the deck. So I did clean up the build a bit, just made it a bit more consistent. Um, was running pretty well. My locals is like pretty rogue, and then there's like a good bunch of players on meta. My matchups were I played two heroes, Sword Soul, and then I played Freeman on Spright. He was round 3. We had like a 40-minute game 1. It was just such a back and forth, but yeah, really liking how the deck performs. Let's get into it. So for tiers, I just play 2 Rhino. That's always felt comfortable, like pre-Shizu. Um, I see it often enough. I know there's a lot of people that like 3. It is like a really good card. I just don't want to see too many copies opening up. It is kind of cloggy. 3 Sheeran, that's probably the card you want to see, along with Havness, like first or second. This is probably the best tier in my opinion. It just has so much synergy with this newest rendition of the deck now. I dropped down to 2 Merly. That's kind of been the consensus of Shizu tier players, is that like 2 is probably more correct, because you don't want to see it like early on in your combo. You kind of want to save it for sprint, all that. So like I do agree with that. So that's why I did drop it to 2. That's it for tiers. Shizus, I just 3 Kelbeck. This is going to be pretty standard. 3 Keldo, 3 Medora, 1 Agito. So yeah, 1 Agito, I guess that might be debatable, but I feel like the general trend is 1. So I stuck with that initially, and it's proven to be pretty good, because you know it's the one you don't really want to see too often, like compared to Kelbeck. So pretty good ratios there. I feel like you need to max out the shuffle box, because that's what makes this deck so broken now. You can always like chain your shuffle box to like certain effects, where you need to grab from deck, or you know, whatever the case may be, or you need to set up a card to add from another card. Like there's just so much utility in it, and you can kind of tune your plays on the fly that way. So really good. It just helps you actually make your deck a little more consistent, because you can afford to run some one-ofs. You can cram a bit more into the deck without having to play like 3 of every card, is what I'm getting at. I'm on the Nimble engine. And yeah, like what I mean there is I'm playing just 1 of each Spright. Like the problem with this setup before is you'd mill a lot of these, and your Spright combos would be pretty awkward. But now with like the utility of shuffling back during the game, I feel like this makes this run a little bit more smoother. But the idea with the Spright engine in this deck is we need like ways to play under shifter, and this actually proved to be really awesome under shifter, because I was just able to draw like kind of like a Spright heavy hand, and just set up board like with elf, red, and carrot. Like it's something to do under shifter, like you don't just pass. So this just kind of adds you those alternate lines to play under those oppressive cards. And like the Nimble engine's just insane. It gives you so much extension, and when you're milling that mid combo, your Spright combo's always live. So You can end with like tier disruption, like generic disruption, like dweller and all that, and then like smashers and field spell. Yeah, you're just making some pretty insane boards. Like you'll notice I'm not on like the Herald or Bestial stuff. That's just because my locals is like pretty rogue, so I don't want to lose out on value in a lot of those matchups. So I was just running Bestials, but I'm just on to Fenrir right now, and I'm siding Bestials, which you'll see. But I think this is a little bit more better for all decks. This card puts people in a really awkward spot. I don't even think two's bad. I do need a third, but I've just been trying out two. This really works well. Like you can shuffle things back too. So yeah, really happy with how Fenrir is performing. I put in a lot of work in those matchups where I can't really outstuff with conventional tier lines or even Spright lines. And it just helps you push into boards because like battle phase is actually really broken now. When people have elf IP boards, it kind of makes them move, lights a fire. But that's it for the monsters. We got our spells. So here's like the tier stuff. I'm on 3 planet, 2 scream. I did up the scream. I feel like this card's really good because you want to start your milling early. And yeah, just the effect to slice their attack down pretty good. While you're also boosted. Like that's pretty good. So you really get that edge in battle with these cards. And then this is kind of, it's always like your kind of last resort. Like you can always like pop your own tiers, or you can even pop your own like Druid Worm. There's so much you can do with this card, and then yeah, it adds you a tier monster and like the attack boost. Yeah, I see this getting limited pretty soon. Really good. A card that really overperformed for me is Triple Tactics Talent. Anytime I was like had my back against the wall, this card would just save me, whether it's usually the draw effect or taking control, which really helped me. I was down on like 1 card and like a level 2, and I was able to break a board with just that and then go full Spright combo. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, there's just so much you can do with talents, and there's always interaction on your turn now, so I think it's a no-brainer. Moving on, these are just like my 1-of spells. Some on Smashers, Terraforming, Instant Fusion, Foolish Burial. Yeah, they're just all broken 1-ofs. Obviously this one's part of the Spright combo, so this just kind of fortifies your board state. And then yeah, you can't really get value with this when you're playing under Shifter, but you still search it in Spright combo. But it's good out to mine and all that. You'll notice I'm not playing Heartbeat in the main, so Smashers kind of fills that role for game 1. 2 Sulic. I really like 2. It's a great opener and it's a great mill, and you know, keeping it at 2 rather than 1 kind of helps you in both causes there. But yeah, no crime in the main either. I do side Heartbeat and crime, which I will get into. Side's kind of a work in progress, but worked for me. So I'm on 2 Juris Worm and Red Resonator for monsters. Red Resonator, enough said there. But the 2 Juris Worm, I probably would like up the bestial count, and of course like a conventional setting, like a bigger tournament, but I think this is like the best one. Just like with the utility with sending stuff to the grave, like I can pop it with planet, like I said earlier, or even just going into dark. You get value there, so there's a lot you can do with it. I think it's like the best bestial in my opinion. You can always take your opponent's Magnamut, which I did game 1, but obviously I didn't have this in the main. But I might even just main 1 for when I do bring back Magnum, stuff like that off dark. But I just wanted some bestials in the side to help me out when I did face meta. That's it for monsters in the side, and then I spells and traps, a lot of removal, and then just stuff to control the game going first. This overperforms. Dark Law is really a problem. Like I played 2 hero decks. One had me with Rivalry and Dark Law. So like these are kind of non-negotiables on that point. And it's like with cards like Rivalry in mine, Dark Hole's gonna reset the board state, and you're also triggering Tears or whatever the case may be. So Dark Hole, really happy with that. Duster. I didn't want to go on Cyclones. I wanted stuff that was more high impact, and I think this is pretty high impact and searchable, of course. Crime. I've seen decks with crime in the main. I don't even think that's bad. I just feel more comfortable with it in the side. Skill Drain blows out a lot of decks. Good against Flunder, which is sort of the real anti-tier deck right now. I think it's a little bit better than Exo Sister, which this also blows out. So yeah, this hits a lot of cards, and you can still play pretty well under it. So I'm gonna keep it in. But Skill Drain's probably like the one card I might take out. Yeah, but the side's more just like tuned to locals, like I always give a disclaimer. Extra, get your classic fusions here. I'm probably going to be going on my dragon. I did kind of miss it. I just tried playing without it. But yeah, these all obviously did their job. One kit's fine. You're always recycling kit. It's like almost your standard line. I kind of miss it in a grind scenario. Like I think I did have a kit banished one game, but didn't hurt me too much. Links. Really not much I changed with the links. So we're on Avermax, Unicorn, Dark, 2 Sprint, Spright Elf, IP. I might stray away from this, or sorry, these, and change up the build a little bit more. Try like the Herald stuff out, but I just decided to obviously not go that route. But IP Unicorn is a really good setup, actually, like especially in like a simplified game state. Really performs well. Avermax as well. Yeah, I wasn't really unhappy with the extra. Sprint's the grossest card in the deck for sure. Next to Dark, I think. I think these are like the cards of the format. There's so many ways you can kind of twist the game with them. And then the Xyz monsters, Sun Dweller, Gigantic, and Soul Sweeper. That was more of like an experimental thing. I think this should definitely be a Baguska. I keep like hammering home the shifter, but yeah, like it's something I really need to work on playing against, and I think like Baguska would be a better pick in that regard. But this really performed well because I'm going into Spright lines. I just kind of put it in because I noticed like the Spright player in top 4 of Pasadena really relied on this card, and it helped him sort of push into boards. So I was just kind of going for the same idea there for when I'm on Spright lines. Dweller, just so cracked. Nothing I'm really gonna say about that. But that's the deck. Probably be making some updates soon. Maybe just try the Herald Diviner build out and report back on that. But yeah, no other thoughts. That's it, guys. Take care.